Hey guys, I'm sure that most of us have heard of Dybbuk boxes by now, but there are still some people out there who haven't. So for those of you who haven't, a Dybbuk is a evil, malicious, restless spirit that has the ability to attach itself to a living person. And once that spirit is removed, it's trapped inside of a box, a container, anything. And hence Dybbuk box. It's contained inside, trapped inside, so that it can't attach itself to another living person. These things are evil. Now, there are a million stories out there of different Dybbuk boxes. I've had personal encounters with them myself when I was part of a ghost hunting group when I lived back in Texas. You can buy them online. I mean, the stories are endless. But this one, to me, is just absolutely bananas. So, in Portland, Oregon in 2001, a man named Kevin Mannis purchased an old wine cabinet from an estate sale. Mannis claimed that the wine cabinet had belonged to an elderly Holocaust survivor. She had passed away. The family was having an estate sale. He fell in love with the cabinet and purchased it. He alleges that the family told him never to open the cabinet, to be careful, just be weary around it. I guess the cabinet contained a couple of pennies, a lock of hair, a wine goblet, just one, a dried rosebud, just different weird items that you wouldn't normally find in a wine cabinet. Now, Mannis claims that after he brought the wine cabinet home, it wasn't long after then that he started having very strange, very vivid nightmares. There would be strange smells like cat urine and lavender that had no origin. He didn't own a cat. He didn't have lavender in the house. He didn't grow lavender in the yard. His mother had a stroke not long after he had brought the cabinet home. So, of course, he wasn't going to keep it. He decided that it had to go. So he decided that he was going to sell the cabinet on eBay. So his eBay listing read like a horror story. He described in detail of the nightmares that he was having, his mother having had a stroke, the strange odors. He went on to say that people that had come to visit, friends of the family, etc., had paranormal encounters with being anywhere near the cabinet. They would see shadows, things would move, they would hear voices. He put all of this into the eBay listing, and it was viewed by thousands of people. So eventually the auction ended. If you know anything about eBay, you know that it's auctions. You set a certain amount of days for it. After the auction ended, the new owners took over and started having the same type of experiences. Again, put it back on eBay, another huge listing. I guess this happened a couple of times. And then eventually the auction was won and the cabinet was sold to James Haxton. Now, Haxton explained, he wrote a whole book about it. He explained in his book that he had himself had paranormal encounters, that the activity followed the cabinet, the strange smells, his health problems that were pre-existing had gotten worse. He wrote a whole book about it. Now, eventually, Hollywood got wind of this book and the story behind this Dybbuk box, this wine cabinet, and a movie was loosely based on it called The Possession. That came out in 2012. And then after that, stories of this Dybbuk box and this eBay listing and Mannis and Haxton, it just absolutely exploded. It was all over the place. People who had never seen the listing or had even ever heard of eBay before knew everything there was to know about it. Now, this is where the story turns absolutely bananas for me. It was a few years later, and Mannis came forward and claimed that none of the stories were true, that he just wanted to sell the cabinet, he wanted to create a ghost story, but that there was never a Holocaust survivor. The family never warned him about staying away from the cabinet, that the weird, creepy items that were found inside, he put there himself. His mother did have a stroke, but it was completely natural causes. Like, the whole thing was completely made up. But even after that confession, people still kept coming forward with stories, encounters they had with this Dybbuk box. The strange illnesses, the strange odors, the weird shadows, the creepy objects inside, the cabinet itself moving. Like, it just, the story didn't die even when Manus came forward and said, hey guys, I made it up. None of it is real. So that's just absolute bananas to me, that even after this man came forward and, confessed everything, that people were still claiming to have had strange encounters with this cabinet. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Mine are kind of all over the place, but please leave yours in the comments, especially if you know anybody who came into contact with this Dybbuk box, if you yourself came in contact with it. I tried to find out where it is today, if it even still exists anymore, or if somebody finally destroyed it, but I couldn't find any information. So if you know where it is today or have heard of where it is today, certainly please leave your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to do a little bit of a deeper dive on it. Thanks, guys. Stay safe.